TEW and AWM are wire designations indicating specific properties and suitability for particular applications. The wire in question is copper-clad aluminum wire, where a layer of copper is applied over an aluminum core. The TEW designation signifies thermoplastic equipment wire. TEW wire is a single-conductor wire insulated with polyvinyl chloride, PVC, and is primarily intended for internal wiring of appliances and equipment where it is protected from moisture, oil, gasoline, and other substances with similar effects. The 1015 and 1230 designations refer to Underwriters Laboratories UL standards. UL 1015 specifies hookup wire, and UL 1230 specifies appliance wiring material. These standards outline specific requirements for the construction, testing, and performance of the wire. TEW refers to the Canadian Standards Association's standards for thermoplastic equipment wire. The AWM designation stands for appliance wiring material. AWM wires are intended for use in the internal wiring of appliances and electrical equipment, similar to TEW wire, but may adhere to different UL standards. CSA AWM refers to the Canadian Standards Association's standards for appliance wiring material. While TEW and AWM wires may not be explicitly listed in the National Electrical Code (NEC) or NFPA 729 electrical standard for industrial machinery, they are commonly used and generally accepted for control panel construction when installed in accordance with their UL and CSA listings. The NEC covers general wiring requirements, while NFPA 729 focuses on the electrical aspects of industrial machinery. Section 3.11 in NFPA 79 2021 edition states that the conductor shall be suitable for the conditions of use, including voltage, current, temperature, and environment. Section 4.31 states that the conductor shall be selected and installed in accordance with the NEC. The suitability of TEW and AWM wires for control panel applications depends on several factors. Firstly, the voltage rating of the wire must be equal to or greater than the voltage of the circuit in which it is installed. Secondly, the temperature rating of the wire must be suitable for the ambient temperature and the heat generated by the equipment in the control panel. Thirdly, the wire must be protected from physical damage and environmental factors such as moisture, oil, and chemicals. Fourthly, the wire must be properly sized for the current it will carry, according to NEC ampacity tables such as Table 310.16. Fifthly, the control panel must be designed and constructed in accordance with applicable standards such as UL 508A, the standard for industrial control panels. Copper-clad aluminum wire offers several advantages including, firstly, lower cost compared to solid copper wire. Aluminum is a less expensive metal than copper, so copper-clad aluminum wire can be more economical. Secondly, lighter weight. Aluminum is a lighter metal than copper, so copper-clad aluminum wire is lighter than solid copper wire of the same gauge. This can be an advantage in applications where weight is a concern. Thirdly, increased flexibility. Aluminum is more flexible than copper, so copper-clad aluminum wire is generally more flexible than solid copper wire. This can make it easier to work with in tight spaces or applications where the wire needs to be bent or flexed. However, there are also some potential disadvantages of using copper-clad aluminum wire. Firstly, higher resistance. Aluminum has a higher electrical resistance than copper, so copper-clad aluminum wire has a higher resistance than solid copper wire of the same gauge. This means that it will generate more heat and have a greater voltage drop over a given distance. Secondly, potential for corrosion. Aluminum is more susceptible to corrosion than copper, so copper-clad aluminum wire can be more susceptible to corrosion, especially at connections. Using appropriate connectors and termination methods can minimize this risk. When using copper-clad aluminum wire, it is important to follow specific installation practices. Firstly, use connectors and terminals specifically listed and labeled for use with aluminum conductors. These connectors are designed to provide secure and reliable connection that minimizes the risk of corrosion. Secondly, apply an oxide-inhibiting compound to the aluminum conductor before making the connection. This compound helps to prevent the formation of aluminum oxide, which is a poor conductor of electricity. Thirdly, tighten connectors and terminals to the manufacturer's recommended torque. Over-tightening can damage the conductor or connector, while under-tightening can result in a loose connection. Fourthly, avoid mixing copper and aluminum conductors in the same termination unless the connector is specifically designed for that purpose. Galvanic corrosion can occur when dissimilar metals are in contact in the presence of an electrolyte. When selecting wire for control panel applications, consider the following factors. Firstly, the voltage and current requirements of the circuit. Secondly, the ambient temperature and operating temperature of the equipment. Thirdly, the environmental conditions such as moisture, oil, and chemicals. Fourthly, the applicable standards and regulations such as the NEC, NFPA 79, and UL 508A. Fifthly, the cost and availability of the wire. Based on these considerations, you can determine whether TEW, AWM, or other types of wire are suitable for your specific application. In summary, TEW and AWM wires are commonly used in control panel construction and are generally acceptable when installed in accordance with their UL and CSA listings, the NEC, and other applicable standards. Copper-clad aluminum wire offers advantages such as lower cost, lighter weight, and increased flexibility, but it also has some potential disadvantages such as higher resistance and potential for corrosion. When using copper-clad aluminum wire, it is important to follow specific installation practices to ensure a safe and reliable connection. Always consult with a qualified electrical engineer or inspector to ensure that your control panel wiring meets all applicable requirements.